Yo, it's your boy, Orion, one half of the Northwest Sports Fanatics. The grind, don't stop it, don't quit. 5 videos earlier today for your guys' pleasure. And then obviously I wanted to go live. God, you guys are hopping in the chat quick. I'm glad you guys saw the messages. Michael Pierpont, yo, the grind is real. Room 817 Studios. I'm first. Tommy, sup? Hey, how was your day? It was a day of watching a lot of NFL Network, Room 817 Studios, seeing AJ Green get hurt. I'm not about that. 6 to 8 weeks, that was a little disappointing, but we'll have to kind of see how serious the ankle is, moving forward. But I've been grinding for you guys, for these last, couple days. If I got to do 4, 5, 6, 8, 10 videos, go live. It's awesome that you guys are in here, and I wanted to go over a great topic today, but I'll wait for a few more people to get in the room. Northwest Sports Fanatics, so this is mine. NFL top 5 coaches going into the 2019 season. I guarantee not everyone is going to agree with my list. This is my favorites, going in. My top 5. I got a couple honorable mentions too. Six Inc, what up? Taysom Hill, he can do anything and everything. Yeah, he was getting a little salty with one of the reporters there and stuff, but it's good to see that that he's back out there and practicing. It was good to see a lot of the people. Slim Leroy, what it do, baby? Man, Slim, are you ready for AEW, my guy? Are you ready for this? Coming in the fall to compete with WWE because, SmackDown is bootios and Raw has been kind of stale. So I'm excited for that. Keep pounding. Absolutely. Solstice Beat all the way from Alaska. What it do, baby? Good to see you, Jessica. Now we got Tommy H. I don't know if this is a troll or if he's a Cowboy fan. He said Jason Garrett is the best coach in football. Now, are you a Cowboys fan or are you trolling? I don't know which one. I mean, I gotta see. Pete Carroll, Solstice Beat says, hey, didn't Oregon lose to 2 SEC teams? Oregon loses to everyone. But you know what? I'm still a hardcore fan, though. I mean, when you go to the games and that experience there, there's nothing like it. I'm going to go to a few games this season, too. Plus, if you end up being front row, like I said, I was front row for 2 games. UCLA with Chip Kelly coming back to town, and Arizona State to see N'Keal Harry right on the 20-yard line. Amazing. And then I had 10th row seats for the first game on the 50-yard line, and then I had 6th row seats against San Jose State. So, I mean, not everyone's team can be a winner. You got to think I'm a Bucks fan. I'm a Mariner fan, Blazer fan. A lot of misery there. The Ducks might be the best option, even though the Blazers made the West Final. But Green Mobster, I'm here, brother. Won't chat as much, but I'm busy, but I'm here. Good. Well, I'm going to have a good show for you guys, and you guys are just going into the room. You guys were waiting on me. 5 videos, 4 or 5 yesterday, 5 today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Damon, I see you. P. Aqua Dio. See, I didn't even have to cheat that time. I remembered. Man, I hope you guys like my Carson Wentz video. I got the Julio, the Baker. I was grinding today, man. I'm just trying to make sure that you guys love everything. Slim Leroy, bruh, I'm ready for AEW to start up. But yeah, I can't wait for the NFL season to start. I might end up doing live reactions to AEW. I mean, we're on a time difference, East Coast, West Coast. Maybe I'll get the network again and then maybe do SummerSlam live reaction. You know what I mean? NXT. I don't know. I'm kind of thinking about it. I could be, the Northwest Wrestling Fanatics. That's me, your boy. So I might do that, as well. But I got a good show for you guys today. Got already questions coming in. You guys are going to be probably surprised by my list. Gritty City, hey. Room 817, I'm a Rays fan. Oh, okay, cool. Tommy H. is a Cowboys fan. Okay, I see you. Obviously, everyone's going to have their, their 3 cents and their 2 cents and 4 cents and 5 cents on their team. But I wanted to go over, we got plenty of people in the room now. So let's go over NFL top 5 coaches going into the 2019 season. Not by CBS Sports. Nah. Not by Colin Cowherd. Nah. Not by ESPN because no one watches that anymore. Nah. You're here with me, the Northwest Sports Fanatics, 1 of 2, your boy, O-Dog. So first, let me go into some honorable mentions, all right? So these 2 honorable mentions that I have are vets. These are guys that have been solid in their coaching careers. I like them a lot. I don't have them in my top 5 just because I feel at this point in their careers, there's guys that have surpassed them. But I mean, talk about connecting with the players, being a great coach and getting the most out of their guys. The first one I want to go over is John Harbaugh, from the Baltimore Ravens, the Ravens flock out there. I think he's a guy that's very solid. When he was going to be rumored to be on the market, I kind of got excited because I was kind of hoping that the Bucs might be able to get someone like that, someone with some stability, someone that I feel that is going to be a good head coach for quite some time. We saw what his brother Jim could do, for a number of different teams that he was out there. The most success he had, obviously, with the 49ers. But John Harbaugh is a guy that I feel a lot of people would take him at head coach. And you guys can comment your top 5 down below as well. But like I said, John Harbaugh didn't make my top 5, but I respect the shit out of him. I like him a lot. I think that if anyone's head coach got fired and you brought in John Harbaugh, would you really be that upset? I don't think anyone would. Hey, it's not a dog chain, big dog. You wish you had a chain as nice as that. Ray reacts. What you reacting to, Ray? You reacting to my duck chain? You wish you had one that was as fly as that. All right, and so besides that, my next kind of honorable mention is going to be Pete Carroll. So Pete Carroll is a guy that I easily could have put into my top 5. I feel he connects with the players, arguably probably the best out of any of the coaches that are still in the league for being an older coach. He's getting a little bit older, but he's still wise. He gets the most out of his guys. The roster is getting a little bit thin, but I respect the hell out of him. I mean, even though I'm here in Oregon, Nike headquarters in Beaverton, he's just right up north in Seattle. But I think he's been a great mentor, not only to the teammates and obviously the people that he's, mentoring up and coaching up, but for Seattle, I mean, he brought them a championship, in a couple Super Bowls. You win one, you lose one. He is one of those elite coaches in my book, and he gets the most, with Russell Wilson. He gets the most out of guys like Tyler Lockett. The defense plays hard for him. And just when you think that the Seahawks are down and you're like, they're going to slide back, even if the team looks like a 7-9 or an 8-8 team, somehow, some way, with great coaching and Russell Wilson, it seems like they find a way to get to 9 or 10 more times than not. And this year could be the same thing. I could see the Seahawks getting, about 10 wins this season if everything, is, they don't have any major injuries. Russell is good. Lockett breaks out. But you're going to need guys like DK Metcalf and the rest of the roster to step up. That is another honorable mention. And then I'm going to give you, those are my vet honorable mentions. And so my number 1 honorable mention for up-and-coming coach that you guys need to be really on the alert for, that I have a hell of a lot of respect with. He coached the Atlanta Falcons. Obviously calling plays. He knows how to get the most out of his guys. He knows where to put guys. He got the Atlanta Falcons to the Super Bowl. Yeah, they didn't win it, but I think he's one of the brightest minds in football. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about head coach for the 49ers, Kyle Shanahan. This guy is going to start, creeping up in the division. It may take a couple more years, but he's one of the smartest guys in football. He's going to start building that 49er roster like the Falcons had. So don't be surprised if it's not this year, the next year, or the year after. They're going to be competing in the NFC West with Seattle and the Rams sooner than later. They still maybe need a few more pieces. We got to see Jimmy G if he's healthy. But I really respect Kyle Shanahan. I think he's one of the brightest up-and-coming coaches, period, in the NFL. And that's big facts. Now, we're getting to my cream of my crop, the top 5 now. You guys may agree, you may not agree, but this is my top 5, all right? Number 5. Number 5 is a coach that was in the Eagles coaching tree. So if that doesn't already tell you who I think number 5 is, then there's a few guys that are in the coaching tree. Now, this guy has proven himself already from last year. You got guys like Andrew Luck, Quentin Nelson, Darius Leonard. I feel that this guy is going to end up winning a Super Bowl within probably the next 5 to 6 years. We got to see what Tom Brady does and Belichick, but these are my top 5 coaches, not named Bill Belichick, so he's not going to be in my list. Number 5 is a guy that I could have a little bit higher. I got Frank Reich. I really like Frank Reich for the Indianapolis Colts. I love what he did for the Philadelphia Eagles. I think he's one of those guys that's a little underrated. 10-6 last season. He's going to be able to keep continuing to get that team to the playoffs. I think that they're going to win the AFC South again. I think they have the best overall roster. They've been drafting really well. I like Paris Campbell out of Ohio State. Look for the Indianapolis Colts to maybe not be the best team in the entire AFC, but you watch. They're going to compete with New England. They're going to compete with the Los Angeles Chargers, and they're going to compete with the Kansas City Chiefs. I really like Frank Reich. I think that he's very underrated, and watch for him to do big things in Indianapolis. And they keep drafting really well. They got a great organization. For a while, they were drafting horribly, and they didn't have the right head coach, and it was just kind of a mess. I have one of my best friends is named Preston, and a huge Colts fan, huge Peyton Manning guy, huge Andrew Luck guy. And I told him, you're going to have to make a change at head coach to and upper tier on the organization to get better. And they finally did. So number 5, Frank Reich. Frank the Tank, baby. I really like him a lot. Respect the grind from the Philadelphia Eagles organization going to the Colts. What a great opportunity for him. And one last thing. Without Frank Reich, you don't win the Super Bowl with the Eagles and obviously with the Patriots. He was a big part of that, not only in the locker room, but just being there as a presence for the Philadelphia Eagles. Frank Reich, number 5. Number 4. Number 4 is a coach that actually has Eagle ties as well. A lot of guys said that he couldn't get over the hump. He almost got over the hump in the AFC Championship game last year, right? If they didn't have such a shitty defense, one of the worst in the league, right? They were a coin flip away from making the Super Bowl, and guess what? They would have won the Super Bowl, in my opinion, even with that shitty defense against the Rams, if they would have made it. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about my boy, Andy Reid. Yeah, they went to 4 or 5, NFC Championship games with the Eagles. Yeah, they went to a Super Bowl with T.O. and they couldn't get it done. But mark my words, Andy Reid is going to get a championship in Kansas City before it's all over, before his career is done. Mahomes, the clone, you got plenty of weapons. Tyreek the Freak Hill, Travis Kelce, you got Honey Badger on the back end, Frank Clark from Seattle. I love Chris Jones. Who? Chris Jones. I love this team. I think they are going to be one of the big contenders in the AFC to push not only the Chargers and Colts, but to push New England. And if they get to the Super Bowl this year or AFC Championship game, obviously no one would be that surprised. Andy Reid's record, 207, 138, and 1. 207 wins, 138 losses, 1 tie, a 600 average. I mean, for a guy that gets a lot of, shit talked about him, Big Red, I love this guy. If he was on the Bucs, I would just be so enamored and excited. Yeah, it's hard to get over the big one, but you got to look at who you're playing against. Sometimes the teams that you're going against, have better coaches. Sometimes the rosters are a little bit better. I have never given up on Andy Reid ever, period. And I know that he's going to get a championship, and it's going to be so fitting for him. And think about this. There's going to be some storylines depending on how good the teams are. What ends up happening if it ends up being the Eagles versus the Chiefs? You know what I mean? Obviously, the Eagles with Carson Wentz would love with Doug Peterson to be able to get over the top. But if Andy Reid ended up getting it and, playing against his former team, how sweet would that be? Obviously for him personally, not for Eagles fans. But I think that even if the Eagles lost, it would sting. But for a lot of the people that love Andy Reid, they would love it. I mean, a guy that's a grinder. Some guys didn't like him that much in the Eagle organization as far as fan base. But I think a lot of Eagles fans respected him. I mean, how hard is it to get to 4 or 5 NFC championship games and, a Super Bowl run? You had Brian Dawkins and all these stud guys that I really respect the hell out of. So number 4, Andy Reid, Kansas City Chiefs. Mark it down. He's been one of my favorites, period, all time. Now we're getting into the top 3. Number 3. Number 3 is a coach that came up short in the Super Bowl last year. He came from the Redskins organization. They probably should have fired Jay Gruden and made this guy head coach. He's got one of the most photographic minds in football. He can remember every play, every formation, right? He is one of the brightest guys in football besides Kyle Shanahan, in my opinion, as far as like a new coach that's going to be doing big things. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about the Los Angeles Rams and Sean McVay. I mean, whether you love the Rams, you hate the Rams, Sean McVay, I feel, he's not necessarily overrated, as Damon P. Aquadio would say, but he is a guy that he's a gamer. He's a football coach. He knows how to relate to his guys. He knows how to get people open. He knows how to do everything. And like I said, they fell short, but I don't necessarily think it was all him. The defense played good, but if you don't have a healthy Todd Gurley, what the hell are you going to do? I mean, they rode him to the wheels fell off, literally, with the knees, falling apart. But I do think Sean McVay, 26-10 record, a 722, average percentage. He's going to keep getting better. He's going to push the Niners and the Seahawks. And obviously, you're going to get the most out of the Cardinals and Kyler Murray with a team like that at the top. And you got the best player, arguably, in the NFL, defense or overall, in Aaron Donald. So I like where the team's going. You got Sean McVay and the offense. We're going to see where it goes. But I do like Sean McVay a lot. as just no bias, as my number 3 favorite coach going into 2019. Now we're getting to the cream of the crop, number 2. Number 2 is a coach that a lot of people may not agree with me in the placement in the list. Some of them won't have him in the top 5 or even in the top 10, but that's not them. This is me. Number 2 for me, fly, Eagles, fly. Yeah, I said it. Fly, Eagles, fly. My number 2 favorite coach, the one I like a lot, Doug Peterson. Now, people might be scratching their heads that aren't Eagles fans and are like, Doug Peterson, you really have him that high? 29-19, a 604 average. I really like this team a lot. It's already making me sweat over here how much I like this coach. I don't think he's overrated. I think he's a guy that, with Frank Reich, you saw what they could do. He brought a Super Bowl to Philly. Carson Wentz is going to stay healthy this season. People love this guy. He's going to be able to be a guy that is a contender year in and year out. I mean, the Cowboys and the Eagles will be trading spots, and we'll have to see what the Redskins do eventually. The Giants are the bottom feeders in the NFC East, but for a long, long time, Doug Peterson is going to be able to lead the charge. And don't be surprised if Doug Peterson gets another Super Bowl. I really do think that it could happen sooner than later. Could even be this year. And I'm not even joking right now. I like them a lot. I have the Saints and the Eagles as my 2 favorite teams in the NFC that I feel that they can make the NFC Championship game. And then obviously in the AFC, you got Belichick and Brady, whatever. Let's push that to the side. I like obviously the Chargers. Not really sold on their head coach just yet, Anthony Lynn, but I do like Andy Reid and the Chiefs. I like the Colts as well as kind of that sleeper team to try to push New England if they can do it. But Doug Peterson is not one of those guys that you can sleep on. If you want to just make fun or, you're not watching football. I see how he gets the most out of his guys. They got the deepest roster, probably top to bottom going in this year. It's very deep, very competitive. They're going to push a lot of people around. And I can't wait to do live reactions to this team moving forward. Hopefully I get quite a few of them up there. Number 2, don't get at me, Doug Peterson. That leaves only one spot for me. Number 1. Number 1 is a coach that has had heartbreak in the last 2 years. It's been really tough for this coach. I thought this guy has been one of the brightest minds in football ever since he got to Nolans. All right. He's a guy that's well respected in the league. A little bad luck with Minneapolis Miracle and obviously the pass interference call that wasn't called. That was a bullshit call. I do feel this team can make an NFC Championship game. It's possible Drew Brees can win the MVP. It's possible that the Nolans Saints can win the Super Bowl. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about number 1, Sean Payton. 126 and 80 career record, a 612 average. He is a guy that players love. My players love him. He loves the players. He gets the most out of them. He gets good play calling. He gets good discipline. You don't see a lot of guys, getting suspended by just getting wilding out and being crazy. I really like what he is able to accomplish with this roster and with the deepest secondary that this roster has had, arguably in a long, long time, maybe in the whole Sean Payton era. Look for big things from Marshawn Lattimore. Look for Cameron Jordan to dominate. Look for Sheldon Rankins, right? Big shimmy to come back from the injury. Look for that offense, Alvin Kamara. They said, can he take a full load and snaps? Fuck yeah, he can, and he will. And look for Can't Guard Mike to get in the building and to dominate. And Drew Brees, even though he's 40 and the arm may be a little bit weaker than it was 5-6 years ago, it would happen to anybody when they age. But I still think he's got enough zip on his passes to make it interesting and competitive. So let's go over the list again. Honorable mention for my vet coaches. John Harbaugh, Baltimore Ravens, Ravens flock. Pete Carroll, Seattle Seahawks, one of my favorite coaches as far as older coach that has been doing it for a long time. Big ups, big respect, USC, Seattle Seahawks, you're the man. My up-and-coming young coach that didn't crack the list, Kyle Shanahan, San Francisco 49ers, you better believe it. Number 5, Frank Reich from the Eagles coaching tree, Indianapolis head coach for the Colts. Number 4, Andy Reid, Kansas City Chiefs. Number 3, Sean McVay, Los Angeles Rams. Number 2, Doug Peterson. And number 1, Sean Payton from the Nolans Saints. So that is my list. You guys are in the chat. I'm going to go up and see what you guys have to say. Obviously, there's probably some biased comments. You guys are just chatting away. There's so many comments. Holy moly. I'm going to have to catch up here. But thank you guys for hopping in the room, seeing my grind. You saw the 5 videos that I've done today, 4 or 5 yesterday. I'm here, baby, getting you guys ready for the NFL season. Jason Garrett, best coach in football. Tommy H is obviously a Cowboys fan. Pete Carroll for Jessica. Let's see here. Peterson better than McVay. Well, you're an Eagles fan, so obviously you're going to say that. And I had them both in the top 3. Damon, yo, Orion, yo, my guy. Sounds like he's trolling. Yeah, Peyton or McVay, Jason Smith. I mean, and like I said, I don't have any particular favoritism for, one team or another, even though I'm a Bucs fan. This is just what I like, what I would want for my head coach, how I see that the players react to these coaches, what they've accomplished. Doug Peterson did, a lot of people didn't really know who he was, you know what I mean? But you got to think it wasn't by a miracle or just by, just dumb luck that the Eagles fly, won that Super Bowl. They had a perfect game plan. The offensive line was better. The defensive line was better. They had the 4 horsemen at running back. You had Philly. You limited your turnovers. That wasn't by accident, okay? He is definitely one of the best coaches in the league, whether you like the Eagles or not. Sorry, he is. Let's see here. Gritty City. Hey, can't wait for those sack lunches. Yum, yum, yum. I can't wait for those either. Big sacks by a lot of different people. We'll see if the NFL will steal that from me again. They started stealing it kind of towards the end of the season when they would make posts and they would do hashtag sack lunch. They never did that before. So I know that someone on their social media team probably saw that. If they add the yum, yum, yum after, then they really stole it. But, we'll see if they do that. I might have to get that trademarked. For real. Pierpont, how do you like Skandrick for the Eagles? I like it for depth. I mean, obviously he was floating around on the market for a while, so you really just didn't know what kind of player you're going to get. I mean, he's a Dallas Cowboy former player. He has injury issues, but I mean, just to add a little bit more depth to the roster, why not? You know what I mean? If he's going to be able to give you some, good production out there, hopefully he can stay healthy for a majority of the season. But I do like it. I mean, anytime you can add depth of a player, as long as he's not a liability, as long as he can, cover and he can tackle and he's coachable, that's big. You got to be coachable and you got to be part of that, fly Eagles fly mantra, in Philly. And a lot of people are sleeping on Philly. I'm not. I'm letting everybody know how good I think they are. And when, everyone can say, "Oh, New England's this season," and I think they're going to be able to roll on a lot of teams. People that take them for granted, you're going to get slapped in the mouth, and they're going to be able to show you how good they are, just like they did a couple years ago. Gigatess, Nola, Who Dat Nation loves ya. I love you back. Nolans Saints. Obviously with the Saints and the Eagles, and I mean, those are my 2 favorites going into the NFC this season. I'm not sure if any other team is going to compete. Rams will be there, just based off their roster and coaching. Seattle took a little step back, obviously, with a lot of the guys that they lost and, a little thin with the injuries. Packers, I don't know about their defense and LaFleur at head coach. The Bears will take a step back because they don't have a kicker. They lost Amos, the safety, obviously, to the Packers. Vic Fangio is not there anymore, and you better believe that's going to be a huge impact for that team. And then the Vikings might get better, but we'll have to see, collectively how good Kirk Cousins and his consistency is going to be. Cowboys and Eagles, obviously in the NFC East. Cowboys probably being a wild card, front runner, one of those teams, as long as they can get everybody signed. But if they don't get everyone signed, there's going to be a lot of drama with that organization. Eagles will take advantage. And then you got Nolan Saints, but then don't sleep on the Falcons and the Panthers. I think those 2 teams could definitely get a spot also. Run CMC going strong for his 3rd season. And then you got guys, on the Atlanta Falcons. Plenty of them. Devontae Freeman coming back, Deion Jones coming back, Keanu Neal coming back, and they got 2 offensive linemen in the draft. They're going to be ready. The Falcons might be one of the sleeper teams, in the NFC that people, if they don't think that they're going to be rolling, it might take them a while. We'll see what their record is after the first few weeks. If they end up being 3-1 or, 4-1, people are going to be on notice, and you're going to have to make sure you pay attention. Great Mopsa, AEW isn't going anywhere. Yeah, Shade Khan has like $9 billion. He has like 3 times as rich as McMahon. Well, the thing is, I love AEW. I love everything that I've seen with it. And, we had that little, developmental NFL league, that didn't last. AEW is going to be around for a long time. Vince is going to be threatened. He's going to try to buy them out. And I don't think that they're going to sell. And it's going to have a nice roster. Cody Rhodes, Gold Dust, Dustin Rhodes. You got John Moxley, Dean Ambrose. You got plenty of nice pieces moving forward, and there's going to be some talent that jump ship when their contracts are up. And I'm excited because I just like that ECW. I like some new flavor. WWE has gotten very stale, since buying Nitro and buying, ECW with Paul Heyman, putting them out of business and owning all the rights. And, you have the network and you're getting into the library, but it's like the fireworks in the intro, having a better intro song, the Attitude Era, putting on better quality matches, having better superstars. I mean, they definitely have, kind of scaled back to me. Raw is still awesome. I love NXT takeovers. Those are awesome. SummerSlam, WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, Survivor Series, those are awesome pay-per-views, but I'm looking for something new, definitely. Slim Leroy, I'm going to be honest, he's going to earn my respect. I really hope the Dodgers win the World Series this year. I actually went to go watch the Dodgers versus the Nationals today with my dad. Obviously, since he had the stroke, they got the brakes beat off of them by Steven Strasburg, but it's okay. I told my dad they're definitely going to need some back-end help, with relievers and closers, but we'll see what they can do. Tommy H to Andy Reid. I like him. Belichick and Peyton, GOATs and coaching. And this list obviously doesn't have Bill Belichick for a reason. I wanted to give you because obviously you can say Belichick and what he's accomplished, but I love Andy Reid. Michael Pierpont does too. Former coach. It sucked that he couldn't really get him over the hump, but I think that with Mahomes and this roster, they're going to have a good chance. Very, very close for him last season. He almost got there with a horrible defense. So that shows you how good of a coach, obviously he is with the play calling. You don't want to just have to outscore the opponent. You want to be able to stop someone at some point, and it ended up burning them because they just couldn't stop anybody. But, with this explosive offense, really with no key losses, right, and adding Honey Badger and Frank Clark and another year of Chris Jones. Chris Jones! They're going to be very competitive, really fun to watch moving forward for years to come. Let's see here. Real shit. McVay, Sean Payton, Doug Peterson, Chargers coach Anthony Lynn, and Belichick. To be honest, even though I have a lot of friends, one of my best friends is Joey Gomez, big Chargers guy. I'm not really sold on the Chargers head coach just yet. Is he the guy that can get him over the hump? I'm not sure. I think there's other coaches that are better than him. He's got to really prove it to me that he deserves to be up there, but we'll see. John Hankins, what's up, Orion? Nice coming at you with a new video. I'm grinding, baby. Giving you guys all the videos. Let's see here. Reed is my third favorite coach, Room 817 Studios. He's awesome. McVay is overrated. I don't think he is. It's one thing if you don't like the Rams, whatever, if you're a Saints person or Eagles person, he's very intelligent. And I really respect the intelligence and the grind. And if you see the way that this guy game plans, he might not be for everyone, but I saw him on the Redskins organization with Marcus. This guy is very, very smart. He's almost in that brilliant status as far as like photographic memory. You can say he's overrated. I don't think he is. I have him in my top 5, and he's going to be in the top 5 probably for his whole coaching career while he's there. He's that damn good, and that's big facts. And the Rams will probably end up winning a Super Bowl or getting to an NFC championship again real soon. They're talented, but they got to figure out if Gurley's out and Henderson is in, the draft pick, who else? Who else are you going to get to keep competing? That's the big question. Ray reacts. All love, baby. Who Dat Nation? Jason S. LeBron James is the best head coach. Ryan Hollins. Ryan Hollins is such an idiot. I don't even know how he has a job on ESPN. Yeah, he needs to get fired. Let's see here. Chargers coach is Anthony Lynn, and he is top 5 in my opinion. The thing is, though, is the reason why I don't put him in my top 5 is, do you remember when, they played the Ravens? And they tried to do the same game plan as the week before, from going to the Ravens and then to like New England. So it worked with the Ravens, right? And then you played a certain game plan, and then you tried to do the same kind of game plan against New England. You have to adjust. Lamar Jackson is not Tom Brady. So I felt like the adjustments that they didn't make from that one playoff game to the next, I can't put him up there yet. You know what I mean? I don't even have him as a top 10 coach. And that's big facts. I like the roster. Don't get me wrong. I love Phillip Rivers, Hall of Famer. I love Melvin Gordon. I love Keenan Allen, one of the most underrated players in the whole league. I like Bosa. I like Melvin Ingram. I love Derwin James, probably my favorite player on the team since I'm a defensive guy. You know what I mean? But I'm not sold on that coach to be the one that gets them over the top. I think they need somebody better, and that's my personal opinion. Let's see here. You seen Michael Bennett take that shot at Pete Carroll? I didn't. Let me know what's going on with that. Sixing, who dat? McVay is overrated. Let's see. Me too. You've been taking shots at my team, Eagles, at the time. Agreed. I really hope that Ron Rivera does good this year and bring back the Panthers to a Super Bowl run. That's another guy that I have in my top 10. I don't have him in my top 5, but I think Ron Rivera is respected in the league. Defensive guy. You know what I mean? Well respected. Riverboat Ron. It's going to be very competitive. I mean, you got lots of teams because we don't know what the Bucs are going to do, if anything. But the Falcons, the Saints, and the Panthers are going to be beating each other up in that NFC South. And if the Bucs end up doing anything, you could argue that the NFC South might be one of the best divisions in football, period. I mean, if you just get anything out of the Bucs, because the other three teams are well respected. Where the Bucs are concerned, it's just they need a running game and a better defense and a better O-line, and that's big facts. Let's see, what's the difference between Carolina and Atlanta? I don't know if this is leading up to a joke or a troll, but for me, I mean, it just depends on your personal preference, on pieces. Like Run CMC to me is great. If I would rather have Matt Ryan or Cam Newton, I'd rather have Matt Ryan. You got Julio and you got Calvin Ridley. I'd rather have them than the receivers that are on Carolina with like DJ Moore and Curtis Samuel. Luke Kuechly, Deion Jones. Luke Kuechly's better, but Deion Jones is up and coming. So, I mean, it just depends on personal preference. But, both of those teams might be separated by a game or two. It'll be really close. Frank Reich, I like him a lot. Let's see, McVay, Peyton, Lynn, Peterson, Belichick, Reich. Let's see, top 5 coaches from Slim Leroy. Big Eagles fan, Slim Leroy. Peterson, Reed, Zimmerman, Carroll, and Reich. Nice list. I like it. In no particular order, Andy Reid, enough said, Frank the Tank. Frank's not bad. He's good, man. I'm telling you. They've been drafting really well. I mean, look at the pieces they've drafted in just the last couple of years. Quentin Nelson is going to be one of the best offensive linemen for like the next 10 years. I think he might be a first ballot Hall of Famer when it's all said and done. He's that damn good. I watched a lot of tape on him. I haven't seen a guy as dominant as him in a long time. And then obviously with Darius Leonard, who knew that he would be that good? And you got plenty of other pieces that you've been stacking the chips with too. Malik Hooker from Ohio State's pretty good. You got some really good pieces there on the Colts. Frank the Tank, baby. Let's see here. Rank I'm okay with. The difference is Carolina never blew the lead in a Super Bowl. True. Just a tough team to play against, when they got there, So, let's see. Damon P. Aqua Dio. Bills, Oilers, playoffs. Big Red. That too. At least Carolina kept it close on edge of the seat. Yeah, of course they did. Very, very close. And then I was rooting for Carolina, even though I was a Bucs fan, rooting for them then. And it was just, New England and their cheating ways with that field goal. What can you do? Let's see. Ruben Rivera. Andy will never win a title as the worst coach as far as time management in the history of the game. And I believe you're an Eagles fan, and you have a good point there as far as the time management, right? But with the Chiefs, they almost got to the Super Bowl with one of the worst defenses, that we've ever seen. So I don't think that, saying that he's never going to win a title, Northwest Sports Fanatics and me, myself, and I, he is going to win a title. You got the best quarterback, young and up and coming, in Patrick Mahomes. The offense is going to be very hard to stop. And then you got guys like Chris Jones, Frank Clark, Honey Badger, and you're going to keep adding pieces year in and year out. And you fired your D coordinator and got someone better. They're going to be able to get there. I don't know what year it's going to be. Andy Reid is going to get his before it's said and done. Mark my words. He will get a ring. 2 Eagles coaches off the bat. Let's see here. Am I right with the blowout? Obviously, with the the Falcons blowing the big lead. Let's not forget a backup quarterback had a shootout against Brady. Andy is modern day Schottenheimer, unfortunately, up to this point. But I mean, sometimes when you're one of those guys that hasn't got it done and you keep going, you keep trying, you know what I mean? He'll get over the hump, and it'll be you can't just doubt people and just write them off. You know what I mean? I believe in him a lot. I wouldn't have him in my top 5 if I didn't. A lot of frustration without getting the title, obviously before then with the Eagles, right? And that's understandably so. You know what I mean? You had so many chances in that regime, you know what I mean? But, you had a nice run there with Donovan McNabb and company and Brian Dawkins and the rest of the studs that you guys had, but you ended up getting your ring eventually. And I think Andy Reid will get his eventually too. Eagles fan here. Big Red comes small in with game management. He does. Sometimes his time management isn't the greatest. So hopefully he'll be able to get better at that as you're moving forward with Patrick Mahomes. You're going to have to. Eagles will beat the pants off the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Well, we'll have to wait and see. It just depends on if that defense can hold that, offense and limited to points. And then obviously if Carson Wentz stays healthy, he'll be able to match, production as long as a good chunk of the core stays healthy. And that O-line is really important, moving forward. Let's see here. Eagles versus Chiefs Super Bowl, those ratings would fucking fly through the roof. I agreed. I love Andy Reid, man, developed McNabb so well. Agreed. I respect Reid a lot. He helped us get Dougie P. Agreed. Let's see. Sean overrated McVay. Don't think so. Peterson owns McVay. I'm not sure if you can say that, Damon, but I love Peterson a lot. Andy Reid will always be the GOAT to me. Slim Leroy. See, some people were Eagles fans. You got to respect where, the respect, is truly needed to. You have to give it to him. You know what I mean? Yeah, he didn't give you the ring, but the development he had with the players, and he made you guys a contender and competitive for years. Sometimes it's hard to win the ring when you got teams like New England that are cheating every year and they're getting a good chunk of those rings every couple years. It's not necessarily all Donovan's fault or Andy Reid's fault. If it was anybody but New England, you guys probably would have won that year with the TO. And if he wasn't injured. Let's see here, gang. Last year was a fluke for the Rams. No, that wasn't a fluke. They are one of the best, most well-rounded teams in the NFL. Tommy H., I know you're a Cowboys guy, but when you got the best player in football in Aaron Donald and a great offensive mind in Sean McVay and Todd Gurley, arguably the best running back up to that point before he got injured for a couple years, no, it was not a fluke, and a great wide receiving core too. Let's see, Matthew Sanchez. I don't think the Falcons fans should never talk trash about other teams choking and losing. Big lead in the Super Bowl. That also means never going to talk trash as well to other teams. Yeah. Lynn 2, Peyton 1. Real shit. Ruben Rivera. McVay 0-2 versus Peterson. Best record in the NFL since he's been a head coach. McVay hasn't been around long enough. Is Gurley ever going to be healthy anymore? He's got arthritic knees. My opinion, Damon, is no. I think that I don't want to say his career is over, but he's never going to be the same, I feel. Maybe like a Brandon Roy type thing where, if your knees are not there, you can stumble along, crawl along for a couple more years, but will he lead the league in rushing ever again? No, I don't think so. Unless somehow he has some type of crazy robotic knee surgery and, he finds a way to be able to get healthy again, but I don't think so. I don't think he'll be ever the same one. Fun fact, Breeze has always had Brady's number even when he was a Charger. Breeze record against Brady 5-2. Great knowledge bomb. Roommate 17 Studios. I love it. Let's see here. Dougie P. Who would have Doug Peterson outside of the top 5? Anyone that's not an Eagles fan, that's a hater. A lot of people don't have Dougie P. In the top 5 in their coaching tree. They would have like Pete Carroll or Harbaugh. They would have other guys up there. But that's not me. I'm giving it to you real on how I feel. So let's see here. Peterson is scary intelligent. He is. You know what I mean? And you got to think, I have no extra loyalty to Eagles or Chiefs or, I call it how I see it. I'm a Bucks fan, so you got to respect my opinion. You know what I mean? I don't have some extra favoritism just because, I'm rooting for that particular team. Anybody can root for their team and their coach, but you have to, if you're not biased and you look at everyone as a whole and then decide who you think is the best, that's what I do. You know what I mean? And I just give it how I see it. It's big facts. Let's see here. Peyton number one, book it. Y'all see the weapons Carson Wentz has, bruh. Plus he's healthy. Shaking my head. He said, we're taking the division. Agreed, Slim Leroy. You guys are going to go 11-5 and you're going to win the NFC East. Big facts. Come on, Orion. Please say Peyton. Sean Payton is number 1. Another great Parcells disciple. Damon P. Aqua. Dio. Dropping them facts. I love it. 3 Eagles coaches in the top 5. Hey, what can I say? When you have a good coaching tree, I had a thing come up on Twitter. Well, that was really cool. I don't know if any of you guys saw it. I think it was last night. It had John Gruden as an assistant way back in the day, babyface Gruden, coaching up Randall Cunningham and I think Chris Carter. It was awesome. I don't know if you guys saw that, but I watched it like 5 times. It was so cool to see the development of Gruden that young working with Randall Cunningham and seeing some of those Eagles old school players. Very cool. Let's see here. Michael Thomas still holding out. Yeah, for now. You know what I mean? But he'll get his cheddar and his Gouda. They'll get him in the building. Same thing for Melvin Gordon, I hope, as well. Bill Belichick, I don't have him in my top 5 because it's excluding Bill Belichick. You got to make it interesting. We already know what Bill Belichick is about. He can get you the W's, but he's got controversy by his name, asterisks in my book for the rest of his, career. Same thing with Tom Brady. Great teams, but they didn't legitimately win all their Super Bowls. So sorry. Once a cheater, always a cheater. Big facts. Let's see here. Mike Florio of NBC Sports said the other day that Michael Thomas is close to a deal, but they still haven't done it yet. So 18, 19 million isn't the same as 20 or 21 or 22 or guaranteed money. So we got to see. Let's see here. Let me scroll down here. I agree with the list. Green Mobster. I'd have thrown in Matt Nagy into the mention or maybe in the top 5, but your list is good. Thank you. Big respect. we'll have to see, moving forward with Nagy, with the rest of the roster, with the coaching changes and people moving around, with the teams. But I think with the Bears, they're going to scale back. I don't think that they're going to, their defense is amazing. Don't get me wrong, but the offense, I'm not really too sold on it. And you don't have a kicker either. It's going to be hard to win games that are close, when you got a guy off the street or whoever the hell they sign. So I think they'll take a little step back, and I could see the Vikings or the Packers winning the division this year. And that's big facts. Will Chicago be competitive? Yeah, but I think the Vikings and the Packers have something to prove. So we'll have to see. Let's see here. Slim Leroy, he wants $20 million. We're gonna give it to him. We last offered him 19. Yeah, we'll just get him in the building. Get him in the building. Get him in his bank. He deserves it. Yeah, see? And Slim Leroy knows. He's gotcha. I mean, can you blame him? That dude is a fucking beast. He is. And that's why I did the Michael Thomas video yesterday in the morning, because I have to educate some of the fan base that doesn't realize, you can't, it's like in fantasy football. You can't just be like, big name guys. Oh, AJ Green from the past. And even though he just got hurt, prayers up to him. I hope he's okay. Julio, sometimes people go by just like the reputation of the name of the guy just because they've been doing it for a while. I look at every game, every stat line, progression if the guys get better. So there's going to be room for up and coming guys to make a name. And then when you hear me say, DeAndre Hopkins 1, Michael Thomas 2, AB 3, Julio 4, some people won't agree, but that's my list. That's where the progression is for what I see. Some people will agree, some won't, but I know Michael Thomas is a G, and he's going to keep getting better, and that's big facts. So let's see here. What do you think the Eagles are going to do this year, Nicholas? Dan, I think that they're going to dominate. I think Carson Wentz is going to stay healthy. Dougie P is going to motivate this team to get to 11-5. They're going to win the NFC East. I could see them going to the NFC Championship game, and if they make the Super Bowl, I wouldn't be surprised. Mic drop. There you go. That's what I think. Saints have no money to pay Thomas $20 million a season he wants. That's what I was hearing. So I don't know if they have to restructure a contract, with some of the other players, but they're going to have to, figure something out. Let's see here. Marcus is going to hate me on this one during NFL season for LOL plus the Redskins is our first opponent. Tell him it's nothing but love. Oh, he knows. I'm going to choose watching the game. When the Eagles come on and the Saints come on, I'm going to try to do I'm out here. I don't have DirecTV here at the house, unfortunately, but anytime that they come on, I know the Seahawks and the Saints play. I'm going to go live for that, but I'm going to try to go live on Sunday, probably for 3 games straight. Morning game between CBS and Fox, whichever one is the better one here. I'll go live for that. 3 hours. The 1 o'clock game, Fox or, CBS, whichever one's the better one. I'm going to go live for that. Sunday Night Football, live for that. And then I'll go for Monday Night Football, live for that too. So, I'm going to end up doing that. So, well, it's going to be a tough thing. I'm going to end up, hopefully I don't die. I mean, doing 9 hours in a day, and I want to do 9 hours on Saturday, but I think I can do it. You know what I mean? And, it's going to be a fun time in the NFL season, and I think you guys will hop in here, and we're going to have a great time. And Marcus will come as often as he can, but if I end up, having to do some of them solo, I will. We're going to enjoy the season this season together. Let's see here. I'll be at the game seeing the Eagles whoop some ass. Damon P. Aquadio, I see you. Trust, I'm not hyped just yet. Pretty sure you have only had 13 million as of now, if I'm not mistaken, for the Saints money. Lost Howard, Pete Carroll. Let's see here. Fly, Eagles, fly. Nicholas, you know what? What up, boys? Michael Lawler. Michael Pierpont, Falcons play Eagles week 2. Ooh, that'll be nice. I can't wait for that. Let's see here. Yeah, you have less than 13 million. You don't have enough this season. Exactly. I always thought it was weird that some of the Falcons games, I thought the exact same thing and still do. Jessica from Alaska. Let's see here. We have to pay Thomas. Yes, you do. I'm getting close to the bottom, guys. Hope for nothing but health and happiness for your dad. Thank you so much, Jessica. Yeah, he's doing better. I mean, like I said, we watched the Dodgers game today. It didn't work out and getting the W, obviously, today. But I still like their chances of going to the World Series and winning it all. Going to the World Series 3 years in a row. Hopefully that they get it done. I hope your Pops is doing okay. Bless up. Slim Leroy, thank you so much. Mr. Nguyen, yo, what is good, my guy? I know you were catching up on some of my other videos I put out today. Shout out to your dad, Ryan. Thank you, Gigatest. Appreciate it. If the Nolans Saints had managed to pay Michael Thomas, then it's going to be a definitely huge loss for the Saints. If they can't manage to pay him, well, they're going to get him paid, Matthew Sanchez. That's something they're going to do. Mr. Nguyen, I know you saw Breeze's drip today. Yeah, with the cleats, the Supremes. Come on, man. I'm on top of everything. I need to start getting some Supreme gear. Some of that stuff is fresh. Man, custom, Supreme cleats, I need some. Jessica, you have a best friend in the NFL. Sweet. McVay is a good coach, and I'm a Seahawks fan. I agree. I think he is. Let's see. Just got here, but I know you put Peterson in the top 5. I did. I have him at number 2, believe it or not. Gurley was the only guy that I was annoyed with when we played the Rams, so I'm glad he's gone. Well, obviously Rams and Seahawks games are very competitive, just like Seahawks 49er games, which are probably my favorite as far as rivalry in the division. But then obviously with Kyler Murray coming up, we're going to have to see what he does. He should be able to make a name for himself. He looks pretty accurate in training camp from what I've seen. I don't know how good the line's going to be. Larry Fitz is 1 year older. The defense is Bootios, but we'll have to see how it works out. Let's see. Brian Chaffino, what were your top 5? Sorry, I'm late. I'll go over it for you right now. So let me do it real quick. So my honorable mention for vet coaches, as I'm sweating out here, John Harbaugh. That was my first one for a vet coach. I think that he's very underrated, a guy that if any head coach got fired and you brought in John Harbaugh, you'd feel very comfortable moving forward with your roster. My other honorable mention, vet coach, Pete Carroll for the Seahawks. He knows how to get the most out of his players. He's very solid. He has a great relationship with his guys. I don't really see him. I don't hope he stays for quite some time because Seattle needs a guy like that. My up-and-coming young head coach that I feel that has a lot of potential is Kyle Shanahan from the 49ers. Look for them to start getting better sooner than later. John Lynch and him are great, pieces and as a tandem. And then moving forward, number 5, Frank Reich for the Colts. Number 4, Andy Reid. Number 3, Sean McVay. Number 2, Doug Peterson. And number 1, Sean Payton. So hopefully, Brian Chaffino, that answered your question there. Let's see here. So Sean Payton is the most overrated coach in the NFL right now. He makes bonehead decisions in the toughest of moments. I disagree. They're going to be in the running for the Super Bowl this year. He's one of the best coaches that has been out there throughout this time period. Let's see here. We got Gigatest, Peyton, Peterson, McVay, Reich, and Reed. Nice list. Peterson and Reich on the same coaching staff was nasty, very nasty. John Hankins, Darius Leonard, Defensive Player of the Year. This season, he's got a chance. Obviously winning, Defensive Rookie of the Year last year. If he wins Defensive Player of the Year this upcoming season, I wouldn't be surprised one bit. I really like Darius Leonard's game moving forward. Let's see here. So bitter and basic. Sit down, Son Quibble from Gigatest. Triggered. Expected from a Nolans fan. Well, come on, man. I mean, it all depends. Everyone has personal opinion. You know what I mean? I don't have any necessarily, special ties to any team. I'm a Bucks fan, so it is what it is. Let's see here. Bill Belichick has Andy Reid's number. Well, everyone has Bill Belichick's number. You know what I mean? He's a tough guy to beat. But the thing is that if they had a defense last year, any defense, any kind of defense, you're telling me that you don't think that they could have won that AFC Championship game if they could have gotten just a couple stops? You know that they would have been in it. They won. They lost with the coin toss, and their defense was one of the worst I've seen in the NFL. So you can outscore an opponent, but now with better pieces on defense, Andy Reid's going to get his sooner than later, and that's big facts. Unbiased Eagles fan, you'll know Damon P. Aqua Dio. Yeah, Peterson beat McVay twice. Big facts. Spygate. Cheaters. Big facts. Deflategate. Big facts. Let them know. Do you think Aaron Donald overshadows Fletcher Cox? I love Fletcher Cox. No joke. I love Derek Barnett. I love Malcolm Jenkins. I like the organization for the Eagles. Aaron Donald, let's be real. I mean, he's the best defender, in the league. Khalil Mack, right up there. Von Miller, right up there. Luke Kuechly, Bobby Wagner, a lot of those guys. But as far as like guys up front, Fletcher Cox is kind of slept on. Do I think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer? I do. Some people may not, but I think that he's been the staple for that Eagles defense for years, and he's one of the most exciting players that they've had since Jerome Brown, right, and Reggie White. That's big facts. If you don't know who those guys are, look it up on Google, Bing, Yahoo. Eagles fans know what I'm talking about, But I love Fletcher Cox. He's a guy that should be in the Pro Bowl as long as he stays healthy year in and year out. And he's a great leader. I love him. And I like what he's been able to do with Derek Barnett and to, kind of bring his game up and mentor him. Love him. McVay needs to win a Super Bowl to gain my respect. Yeah. Sorry, I don't hype coaches up because they know every player ever. Yeah. I get it. You know what I mean? You have some, That's true. But, McVay, though, based off, his skill set, I mean, if Todd Gurley was healthy, they probably would have won. I mean, regardless of, his coaching and some of the plays with Goff being kind of, inaccurate, the defense, played pretty good. I mean, it was a low scoring game, pretty boring. But if Gurley was there, I mean, I don't think that they were going to hold a healthy Gurley under 100. I mean, I think he would have had over 100 yards, scored at least once, and if maybe twice, and I think they would have won that Super Bowl if that's a big if he was healthy. But then if you really want to get into it, the Rams didn't even deserve to be there. Let's be honest. The Saints should have been the one that was there, and if it was the Saints and New England, I mean, I think the Saints would have had a great chance to beat New England. I mean, but like sometimes that's sports karma. You can get past one, field of the playoff run, but, sometimes sports karma's a bitch. I mean, that's how it goes. Let's see. Goff will have a down year. I don't know if he will. Goff in the Goffense is pretty nice. I mean, you know what I mean? He's going to get Cooper Kupp back, best friend, so he should be pretty good. I don't know how much of a step back they're going to take. Maybe the Niners in Seattle do better than people think. We'll see. But I still have the Rams as kind of the front runner to win that division, and that's big facts. Let's see here. I just don't like being called biased because I say something negative about somebody. Yeah, I feel you, Damon. Right? You think the Eagles are going to pay Jenkins or let him walk after this year? Great question. You got to pay the man. I mean, if you look on how much money that he's making to a lot of the other safeties, it's disrespectful. He needs to be up there with like the top 5 paid safeties, period. I don't care. I mean, you got Kevin Byard and you got guys that are younger that are better at this point. But as far as knowledge of the game, veteran presence, someone that I would love to have on my roster on the Bucs, what he means to fly Eagles fly and that Eagle organization, pay him the cheddar. Well deserved. He deserves it. He's one of the best players in the NFL, and he has been for a long time. That's my personal opinion. Let's see here. Did I ever introduce you to Howie? Yeah. John Hankins, thanks, Ryan. I still see Joe Jurevicius running down the sideline the last game at the vet, Andy Reid. Well, you know what? I mean, if you remember, though, even though the Bowlen beat the brakes off the Raiders. So I had to go through that misery and that pain. And a couple years before that, I had to have Sean King at my quarterback, right? And then, losing to the Rams and, not being able to get any touchdowns with crappy-ass Sean King. So remember, yeah, Joe Jurevicius and, and obviously some of the big plays that, that happened, but, I had to go through that heartache, for 2 years prior before I ended up getting over the hump with you guys. So crazy. Foles can't save the Eagles anymore. Well, that's kind of just an ignorant statement. Well, obviously he's not there anymore, but I still think Foles can make a name for himself, and Carson Wentz is the better quarterback. Big facts. He's going to stay healthy this year. Green Mobster, AJ Green is out 6 to 8 weeks with the torn ligaments in his ankle. I know that's shitty. But he's one of those guys that just keeps getting hurt, and I don't think he's the same type of wide receiver anymore. That Bengals organization just keeps getting injured more and more. It's unfortunate. Let's see here. This is Wentz year. I believe we'll get to the playoffs. Well, if I say you're going to the playoffs, Slim Leroy, you're going to the playoffs. I'm telling you right now. Did the research. I'm rooting for Wentz. He's going to get there. RG3's got a hurt thumb. I saw that, Chifino. Unfortunate. We'll see how that goes. Let's see here. Ryan, MT, and Kamara videos much appreciated. Yeah, Michael Tom, I got you. I'm going to be putting out as much Eagle, Saints, as far as like, nice, good reaction videos. I'm going to get you guys as many as I can. Now we got the Cowboys fan in here. Watch out. JJ Trilla. All Howie did was push money back. Next year it'll catch up to him. Eagles are going to be in cap hell. Well, every team goes through cap hell at some point. Michael Pierpont, you got Discord. I don't, but people are mentioning and asking me if I did. That would be nice if I did, but I don't. Let's see here. Matthew Sanchez, I'm back. Jason Lau, go Rams. Tommy H, Howie's backloading the contract. It's going to catch up to him. Yeah, but as a Cowboys fan too, there's no room really to talk if you think about it, because you got Zeke to worry about. You got Dak to worry about. You got Cooper to worry about. You got DeMarcus Lawrence taken care of, but what about Jalen Smith and then Van Der Esch in a couple years? It's not going to be pretty. You're going to have to make decisions on who you keep either, as well. Every team goes through great rosters that have to be, kind of, organized, and you got to pick and choose on who you feel is going to be the most valuable for you guys moving forward. It's going to be one of those things where the Cowboys and Eagles are going to be battling for the NFC East for years to come, and that's big facts. Let's see here. Green Mob says Sean Payton wouldn't have had to make any decisions if the right call was called in the game. That's true. Belichick in the top 5. He's a cheater, but come on. Well, I had it everyone but Bill Belichick. I didn't want to have him in my top 5. Obviously, he's a top 5 coach, but I wanted to kind of give some love to the other coaches, not named Bill Belichick, or like if I do a video with Tom Brady excluded, you know what I mean? I wanted to give the people something a little different. So, Orion, don't pay him any mind. Those people just try to look for drama to stir up. I always just ignore it. Yep, true. Let's see here. Getting close to the bottom here so I can keep up. All right. Austin Rich, what it do, my guy, brother? What teams do you think that are being slept on? San Francisco 49ers. I feel that they're being slept on. As far as the AFC, let me think of who I think. Pittsburgh Steelers are being slept on. The Baltimore Ravens are being slept on. The Falcons are being slept on. The Panthers are being slept on. The Vikings are being slept on. Seattle is being slept on. I mean, there's a lot of teams that you can kind of bring into that mix. Because obviously for me, my top tier, Saints, Eagles, NFC, right? AFC, you got excluding the Patriots because we already know how good they're going to be. I like Kansas City, right? I like Los Angeles Chargers. I like the Colts. But then, you could have another team like Pittsburgh kind of creep up. I think Denver's being slept on a little bit. I don't know what kind of Joe Flacco we're going to get. Are we going to get good Joe Flacco from the Ravens? Or are we going to get horrible Joe Flacco? I mean, which one are we getting? If Joe Flacco overachieves, who knows? They might be able to get to 9 wins, maybe. But, I mean, I like Kansas City and I like the Chargers, a little bit better. But, you just never know about that third-place team in the division or the last-place team that can go from, worst to first. It happens every year, or third place to first. So, I don't know. Obviously sometimes when that happens, injuries happen, to the top tier teams, and then other teams take advantage. But that's kind of what I'm feeling. Let's see here. Buffalo Bills, 6 Inc. That's another one. Tube FN. Hey, Orion. What's good, Tube FN? What it do, my guy? Buffalo Bills are another team. The Jets are another team that are kind of being slept on. It just depends on the progression, the coaching. I mean, I'm not really big on Adam Gase for the Jets, but getting Le'Veon Bell and C.J. Mosley is sexy on paper. Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen will play better. McDermott is a better coach, I feel, than Gase. So the Bills are on the right track. They're going to play the Cowboys, I believe, on Thanksgiving. So we'll see how that goes. Because if the Bills go into Dallas and win on Thanksgiving, everyone will be on notice with the Bills. With Edmonds at linebacker, Ed Oliver could be like a next Warren Sapp, Aaron Donald-ish kind of player up front in the draft. Josh Allen progressing and getting better. You got Frank Gore, Slim Shady, Shady McCoy, TJ Yeldon. I mean, there's pieces. There's pieces there. We'll just have to see how it goes. Micah Hyde on the back end. Jordan Poyer. I mean, they got pieces on pieces on pieces too. Cooper, what to do, my guy? What was the list? I'll go over it for you, my guy, since you're here. Let's see here. So my honorable mention coach, John Harbaugh. Another one for a vet, Pete Carroll. My up-and-coming young coach that I love, Kyle Shanahan. They're going to be in the playoff hunt sooner than later. It may not be this year, right? But if it ends up being this year, and they get close to 9 wins, don't be shocked. But I think that they're maybe a year or 2 away. But I love Kyle Shanahan. Number 5, Frank Reich from the Colts. Number 4, Andy Reid from the Chiefs. Number 3, Sean McVay. Number 2, Doug Peterson, Dougie P. And number 1, Sean Payton from New Orleans Saints. And obviously this list does not have Bill Belichick because I didn't want to put him in it. Let's see here. See, you even got 6 Inc. helping you out with the list there. There you go. Austin Rich. Mike Daniels thinks Matt Patricia is a genius. I'm pretty sure they're buying in. Yes, you have to say that, with the Lions organization if you wanted to stay in the division. But I personally am not a big Matt Patricia guy. I mean, can he end up turning that franchise around and getting them to the playoffs? Possibly. But if you are a hard ass and expect everything, the world and back, and you start rah-rahing and you fall on deaf ears, I mean, you're not better than the Vikings. You're not better than Green Bay, and you're not better than the Bears. So I don't know how many years of mediocrity or, not really getting to where you want to get. Because ultimately the goal for them, I don't think it's necessarily winning the division. I mean, they can say they want to win, but at least getting a wild card. But I don't know if they have the roster to get to 9-7 or 10-6 in that division. It just doesn't look possible to me. Do I like some of their players? Yeah, I do. Kenny Golladay, nice. Stafford, they have pieces. Big play Slay, Glover Quinn, some of them, but they have just too many holes for me. But the front four, that's one thing that they have a lot of depth at. I really like their front four on the Lions. It's good. Let's see here. A little bickering with Cowboy fans and Eagle fans. What's new? And then I hate the Cowboys, LOL. But the thing is, though, it makes the rivalries fun, with the Cowboys and obviously the Eagles. But the thing is, I think that people need to realize, though, like Tommy H., if you're a younger fan or maybe you're an older fan, but obviously if, you're thinking that you're going to get the Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, Michael Irvin, type of team, that's never going to be like that ever again with that great O-line. The O-line in the current team is amazing, one of the best in the league. But the weapons, you're not going to have a Michael Irvin. Michael Irvin and Amari Cooper on a whole nother stratosphere, right? Emmitt Smith and Zeke, you could see some comparisons, with amazing talent. If Zeke keeps it up, he could be a Hall of Famer at one point. Troy Aikman and his leadership obviously is much better than Dak at this point. But the defense, though, I'll give you some props there. The defense on the Cowboys, DeMarcus Lawrence, Jalen Smith, Van Der Esch, Sean Lee. I heard he's going to try to play special teams. He offered. Pretty cool. Byron Jones. But with all this contract situation going on, I don't think that they're going to be able to get it settled, and it's going to be a distraction. That's big facts. Got to pay Zeke, right? You got to pay Melvin Gordon. Pay Michael Thomas. These are some of the best players to suit up, period. Pay these guys. I want to see them in camp. I want to see guys in preseason like that week 3, week 4 game. I want to be able to evaluate the talent. But one nice thing is we're getting really, really close to the season starting. Hall of Fame games next week. What to do, baby? Man, I'm excited. I believe, who is it? Is it the Ravens and the Broncos? I believe. Is that the first Hall of Fame game? I believe that's what it is. So I'm excited. I'll go live. So if you guys are willing to come and watch the game with me, I'm going to go live for that game, and I'm going to go live for quite a few. And then obviously when I go to Seattle, I'm going to be there for the Seattle fucking fun year this year. But basically, with all the grinding, the first Hall of Fame game is the Falcons and the Broncos. There we go. I didn't think it was the Ravens. I was trying to remember because I saw a thing on it before. But Matthew Sanchez, thanks for writing that down. Yeah, I was pretty sure. I knew Broncos were in it because I'm going to see the Broncos in Seattle for that. And I was trying to think, is it the Ravens? I was like, no, the Ravens played like a year ago or 2 years ago. So that should be interesting, to see those two teams. Both teams are underdogs, sleeper teams. So we'll have to see where they go. Matthew Sanchez, you already know who I'm cheering for. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. But I think that, with all the grinding that, I've done today, I've exercised already once today. I pumped out 5 reaction videos for you guys. It's not like I don't want to grind in here for another hour, but I got to wake up really early. I got to wake up at like 4 in the morning, 4:30 in the morning, and I got to do some more research, watch some more tape, so that way I can be on the grind with you guys. So I think I'm going to cut it short here. I got an hour and about 5 minutes in, but I love all you guys. If you guys have a few more questions for me here in the next few minutes, and if you want to jot them down, I'll answer them. But other than that, with my top 5, I'll go over a quick review again for people that were just in the room. So NFL top 5 coaches going into the 2019 season, not named Bill Belichick, John Harbaugh, Pete Carroll, honorable mentions for vets, Kyle Shanahan, honorable mention for up-and-coming coach that I love, Frank Reich, number 5, number 4, Andy Reid, number 3, Sean McVay, number 2, Doug Peterson, number 1, Sean McVay from the New Orleans Saints. So if you guys have anything that you guys want me to quickly go over, I can do that. Yeah, the grind doesn't stop. I appreciate you guys recognizing that too, Slim Leroy. You do you, bro. Right. The grind don't stop, my guy. And like I said, I got to get that research in. I got to, I can't, do the research while I'm on here with you guys because I want to pay attention to you guys and, get the comments and go over everything. So I got a lot of tape to watch, go over NFL Network, got a lot of articles to read. People send me a lot of stuff for tape and links on Twitter. So I definitely want to be up on every single team, every player. So that way I can give you guys all the knowledge bombs. But you guys are great. Hopefully you guys liked the video today. Like I said, I had 5 reaction videos earlier today. So if you guys did not catch those, and then you guys want to be able to see what I had to put out today, there's some good ones out there. I'll quickly go over the ones that I've done here, so that way you guys have an idea. So I did yesterday Michael Thomas, right? Highlights. So if you guys like the Nolans Saints, you can check that out. I did Patrick the Clone Mahomes yesterday, Saquon Barkley. I did Zeke Elliott, Melvin Gordon. I did a live video yesterday for top 5 most underrated QBs in the live stream yesterday for a couple hours. It was 2 hours long. You can check that out. I did Baker Mayfield this morning, Juju Smith-Schuster, Christian Run CMC, right? McCaffrey, Carson, Mr. Wakatu and Wentz, and Julio Jones. The grind doesn't stop. It doesn't quit. So if you guys want some other material to watch, I got you. See you guys later. I love you guys. I'll be back tomorrow, hopefully with Marcus once I get off work. I'll pump out some reaction videos, and then we'll do a video, hopefully me and Marcus together. And then once he goes home, I'll do another live chat, probably in the evening, probably sometime West Coast time on my time, sometime between 6 and 7:30. You can look out for a live stream then. And then me and Marcus will probably end up doing a video sometime between 4 and 4:30 together, as long as he is willing to come over and get it done. I have one question for you guys. Who you know talk sports like us? Northwest Sports Fanatics. It's your boy. And it's not a dog chain. It's a duck chain. I love you guys, and have a great rest of your Sunday. Peace.